Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining me on the Awesemo YouTube channel. I am Jason Rouslin, or find me on Twitter at DFS Golfer23, and this is the course and player preview for the Arnold Palmer Invitational, the second of 4 tournaments in the state of Florida, my home state, of course. And the Florida swing got started off with a bang. It looked like all week we might have a single-digit winner. Then Daniel Berger had a good third round after a good first 2 rounds. Then maybe not, and then he had a terrible start to the 4th round. All but told, Sepp Straka got it done, -10. But a little bit of controversy at the end. Maybe not controversy, but Shane Lowry thought the golf gods stole one from him as he faced the toughest conditions of the week. A downpour and 20-mile-an-hour wind as he stood up to hit his tee shot on 18. The most pivotal tee shot of the week. It was not good. Forced a layup, then could not make birdie from there. Where Sepp Straka played it in, well, he played his second shot in those winds, but he was able to get his tee shot off and take an aggressive line before the rain really started coming down. So maybe just a little bit of a benefit of the doubt to Sepp Straka there. As we move on to the Arnold Palmer Invitational here this week, I want to make sure you guys are liking and subscribing here to our channel. Get notified when these videos come live. Also, when all of our live shows go on the air, and so much more. Also, if you like the information I'm giving you here, or if you have new information, or just want to share what you have, leave it in the comment box below. We love going through those at the end of the week. Helps the conversation keep going. Also, thanks to Yahoo, the sponsor of this short form video. We'll tell you about a cool deal we got going on over there in a little bit. Let's now tap into Bay Hill, the host of the Arnold Palmer Invitational, a par 72. That is 7,400 yards. Actually, can probably measure up to 7,500 yards. Driving accuracy, well, it's going to be hard to hit these fairways yet again. And when you don't hit them, it is the longest rough that they've probably seen all year this week. And it's Bermuda, so it's going to be very difficult. Brings the green and regulations down to 60% or less. So important, maybe a little boost to strokes gained around the green. However, when you get on these greens, they are big, but they are also very easy to putt on. They're not very undulating. Kind of just when you get there, if you're a good putter or putting well that week, you will score well. So let's talk a little bit more about Bay Hill Golf Club and Lodge. The par 3 second and the par 3 17th will end up playing the toughest in terms of total DFS points scored. So not a lot of birdies come. That second hole, it's a downhill par 3, tough to judge the wind, tough to judge the elevation change. It's got one of the biggest greens on the course as well. Plus, it's probably the most undulating of all of them. It's on a tiered green, very difficult to navigate. And then that backside, the par 3 17th, second to last hole, has a little lake in front of it, a big bunker. It's long, it plays difficult. So those are the 2 hardest, whereas the easiest holes, there are 4 par 5s this week. That's why, the scoring at least, or the winning score is typically much lower than the Honda Classics. But by and large, the field in itself ends up playing just as hard to over par. But these 4 par 5s do give good scoring chances. On the front side, the 4th hole, it's a longer par 5, probably the toughest to eagle. Then there's the par 5 7th, which of course Bryson DeChambeau tried to drive the green last year. It is a hole that surrounds a big lake at Bay Hill. Bryson, of course, tried to take it all over the water and drive the green. He ended up doing something similar. He was about 45 to 50 yards off the green last year. Be interesting to see the line he takes in this year's tournament. Then we go to the par 5 12th, just a normal par 5, about 570 yards, followed by the easiest hole, one of the easiest holes on the PGA Tour, the par 5 16th. It's about a 510-yard par 5, but there's a creek that runs through at, I would say around 350 yards. There is a tight, narrow landing zone on the drive, but the approach shot shouldn't be all that difficult. Now let's go into some specifics of the tournament itself. Check in on the top DFS score last year. It was Bryson DeChambeau, obviously, 107 points. That's much lower than what Matt Jones put up at the Honda Classic last year, 119.5. So on the average, it's going to be a little bit tighter in terms of scoring. The average top 10 score was 80.5, and the average top 10 salary, this one is one of the highest of the season, coming in at $8,300 per golfer. So certainly a lot of the chalk or better golfers ended up playing well here last year, which attributed to that. Of course, we have Bermuda basically everywhere here in Florida. That's pretty much all that can grow here, is it's hot all year round. Top strokes gain stat, I kind of teased that off at the top. Strokes gain around the green is going to be important because likely you're going to miss 40% of the green. So it does get a big boost. Also, driving distance or strokes gained off the tee, I should say, a little bit more specific, does come into play here a little bit more than it did last week on the PGA National Golf Course. So a bump up in strokes gained around the green, maybe a little bit less in strokes gained on the approach. Speaking of approach, the approach yardage, there's only one distance that has many more shots here this week than it does on your typical PGA Tour course, and that's the 200 to 225 yard range. So for these golfers, probably a lot of 5, 6, 7 irons. Maybe for Bryson, he'll hit 8 iron from that distance. But I would say your mid to longer irons. If golfers are good in those categories, which we'll cover a little bit later in the week, take a look at them. Now, speaking of players, let's go ahead and preview them a little bit. There's only 120 golfers. It is an invitational. Because of that, there's actually an alternate field event down in Puerto Rico this week. 5 of the world's top 10 players are here, but then it gets really strong in that middle section. 37 of the top 50 golfers are here to play this week. Jon Rahm, also making his tournament debut, it seems, has not come to this golf course yet, but he will give it Bay Hill a go this week, the top-ranked golfer. Now we go to my first clicks this week. I'm going to talk about Yahoo pricing. I'm going to talk about their odds as well. I want to start off with Rory McIlroy. He has come in the top 10 5 straight times at this event and has also played pretty solidly this year. Well, he doesn't have a win in a couple of months. He did win earlier on in the season. He's come in 10th, 3rd, and 12th in his last 3, so starting very well, coming to a course that he absolutely loves and he feels is made for him. So 10 to 1 odds, maybe a little bit shorter than we wanted, but certainly somebody to add to the start of the portfolio. Second guy I want to talk about is Tyrell Hatton. He's coming in at just $35 on Yahoo this week, so very good value based on his odds. His odds are 28 to 1 to win. He's also hasn't played in the last few weeks, but when he has played this year, he's come in 28th, 4th, and 6th in his last 3, so a couple of top 6s. Certainly a guy that you want as part of your card. And then lastly, we're going to talk about Corey Connors. While he has not played all that great, at least recently, a couple of missed cuts on his card, does have a 3rd place finish here last year. So certainly as the switch to Bermuda happens for him, we expect his putting to get better. And he's 70 to 1 to win. So some value certainly on the odd side in terms of his long-term value there. And lastly, he's $34 on Yahoo. Okay, now let's tell you about Yahoo that we have partnered with them this year for the PGA season. And we've got a great deal for you. If you've not checked out their tournaments or haven't played over there yet, well, all you got to do is deposit. First time deposit, first time sign up, and you'll get a free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. That's correct. A free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. And also, if you want to start playing or you want to start getting the projections before Thursday, and that's the time you're going to play for PGA DFS, well, send an email to support@awesemo.com and we will get you squared away. So that's going to do it here for the course and player preview for the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Look forward to giving you guys plenty of more content this week. Of course, take a look at our live show. It's going to be Tuesday at 1 o'clock, and then, of course, live before lock at 8 o'clock on Wednesday. Thanks, everybody. Good luck this week at the Arnold Palmer Invitational, and we'll see you on the other side. Cheers.